Hey everybody. So, in this short little video, I will try to demonstrate some of the basics of navigation using some of the devices that you can find in RHS status quo. To be sure, this is applicable to 0.10. A lot of the stuff is already present in earlier versions, so you will be able to use the concepts that I describe here in 0.9, 0.8 in some cases, but when 0.10 comes out, you will have exactly the same things as I will demonstrate. First of all, let's stock up with your needed items. Let's open the arsenal. I'd like to show you also some of the things that didn't make it into the 0.10 update video. So you could see we also have these nice new t-shirts being added by Vergi, as well as a new type of balaclava in various colors. You can find it both of them in US and the Ion arsenals down in the clothes section. The new balaclavas are 3 types here. There are several ones in the Ion section. And the t-shirts, we have a normal t-shirt. We also have the bus rugby, which was there already before, and new muscle shirts as well. So these are kind of sleeveless shirts that you can add. So onto navigation. Let's first get everything from the arsenal that we need. First thing, a map. Without the map, navigation positioning is quite useless. So make sure you add a map to your inventory. We don't need a compass because we're going to be using other technologies. So the next thing you will need is a DAGR, the AMPSN 13. Let's put it in our pants. And also the Garmin Tactics Bravo watch. Let's just put it in our pants. What we'll do is we'll immediately put the watch into the correct slot so that it will appear on our hand. And we'll slot the DAGR into one of the quick slots. Actually, we'll do the same thing with the watch. So 8 and 9. So right now I'm in the middle of the forest somewhere. If I look at my map, there's no pointer. Of course, navigation in Reforger is being made a lot more difficult than in previous Arma games, where you could just have your marker showing on the map constantly. In Reforger you have to do a little work in order to be able to do it. In the vanilla you would do it with your compass, try to get your bearings and try to calculate. With some of the things we add in RHS, this has been made a little bit easier. You know, just like in the real world, in the contemporary battlefield, you will have all sorts of gadgets that can help you do it. So, I don't even know where I spawned, so my first thing to do would be to figure out where I am on the map. Now, the easiest thing would be using the Garmin watch. Now the Garmin watch, you can see it on my hand right now, is by default in the hands mode, so normal watch mode, but it is a digital watch, so the face can change to different settings. So the way to do that is to equip it. So I go to my quick slots, 9, and it appears in my hand. And if I click and hold the inspect key, which is on the keyboard the R key, you will see that now I have interaction points with the watch. If I switch mode, I will go through various possibilities. First one is the compass. The next one is the location. If I click it one more time, I'm back to the watch mode. So the compass mode allows you to basically hold the watch up, rotate, and you can see your direction, cardinal direction. If you unequip the watch, as in equip your weapon back, you will see that the mode will stay. Be aware that while on your hand, the direction of the watch is slightly offset to the direction of the weapon. Thus, you have to add a few degrees to from west to east in order to be able to compensate for that. But when you're holding it in your hand, the direction should be more accurate. In coordinate mode, what we're interested in are the two numbers at the bottom, 02753, 03232. The first one, 02753, is your longitude, as in the coordinate on the west-east direction line. 03232 is your latitude, as in the position on the north-south axis. Given these two positions, or these two coordinates, we can open our map and determine our position. So 02753, 03232. If I open up the map, 02753, which would be about in the middle, and 03232 places roughly in here. The numbers that you see are correspondent to the map coordinate system. 032, 33, 27, 28. Now, using the watch, we can now track our position anytime that we move in any direction. We will get a constant update on our positioning, and we can always verify with the map. The second device that could give you precise positioning of where you are, in a similar manner using the coordinate system, is the DAGR. On the Redfor side, this is the Orion. Different device, but works in exactly the same way. If I equip it in my quick slot, and then press the inspect button, if I find the navigation, in the older versions this is just exactly on the new page, but if I go to the navigation, again, I will be able to see the coordinates 02737, 0323226 north. Again, we can verify it with our map that this is our actual GPS coordinate. However, to make our life even easier, in the map mode, using the tool selection, we also have added a GPS location button. If you have the DAGR or the Orion in your inventory, so you must have the device in your inventory in order to enable this, otherwise the button will do nothing. It will bring up the device to be on top of the map. Therefore, you don't have to memorize the coordinates by heart and are able to find your location very quickly. 02737 east, 027 about here east, and then 03226 north, 032 about here. So I think our location is being determined quite accurately. These give you a very convenient and fast way to determine your location without much trouble. I constantly still see people using normal binoculars and compass in order to do that, but this makes it a lot easier. Now, another device that I would like to show you is also something that I don't see used very often, but it can help you to navigate quite a lot, is the Vector 21. On the Russian side, this would be the PDU-4. This is a laser rangefinder enabled binocular device. It allows you to determine the range to a specific target as well as the azimuth, your compass direction to it. Along with a bunch of other features that can be found on our documentation over these devices, I can show you how to use this in case you don't have a DAGR or the watch in order to determine your location. For this to work, you do need to have some identifiable points. So, in order to demonstrate this, I will teleport myself to a location where I can see say here various points of interest, and these could be buildings that you can easily identify on the map, for instance. And somewhere there we have the airport, I believe. We have the tower over there, and we have the base over here with various guys. Now the vector allows us to pinpoint the azimuth to both of these targets and to determine where my actual location is. So equip it by pressing B, make sure it's in the right binocular slot. Press B to equip. Aim at the building that you would like to determine your azimuth to. In this case, we're going to move it on the east wall of the airport control tower. And if I press and hold the R button, or the range button, we will get the distance of 755 meters to that building. If I press and hold the V button, and I have to hold it down for 2 seconds before letting it go, we also determined that the azimuth of 326 degrees is to that building. Now we have to remember the azimuth 326. If we open up our map, and this is why I'm saying that you need to at least know the locations of these buildings on the map. I know that the control tower is this building. So what I can do is I can bring up the ruler, and on the inner circle of degrees, so inner circle is degrees, I would put 126 degrees on that building, roughly. There will be some error because of the nature of the size of all of these measurement scales and some of the lines, so there are some inaccuracies, but you will be in a roughly good shape. So it's placed. That means that from the center of the circle and everywhere along the line towards 326 degrees is where I would actually measure the azimuth of 326 degrees. So I am somewhere on this diagonal. What I can do is I can use the pencil tool and to draw a line roughly from the center to 126 degrees. I am somewhere on this line. But in order to triangulate, I also need to know a position of a different known object, so that I can determine the intersection of these azimuths. So I bring up my binoculars again, and let's find a building, for instance this gatehouse, and I can determine that I am 374 meters away from it. And if I press and hold V, I can determine the azimuth of 369 degrees. 369 degrees, I perform the same operation. I find the gatehouse, which is this little building here. I put 269 mark. On that guardhouse, and again draw the line between the center of the ruler towards. So through this determination, not exactly super fast but quite accurately, I think I've determined my location to be somewhere at 017.8 and 023.3, something like this. Do I still have my dagger? I do not have my dagger. But I do have my watch. So let's look at the watch. 01788 02335. So we were pretty much bang on the money. So without the watch, using just the binoculars, Vector 21, I could determine my location. Alternatively, you can use just the azimuth and range to determine your position. As you saw before, by pressing V and holding it, we have an azimuth of 325. And by pressing R and holding it, we have a range of 765 meters. In the map, if we plot again using the same method, 325 on the building, and plot our line, we can use the ruler if we align it by holding and dragging the middle mouse scroll wheel, by dragging the ruler onto 700 and, if I'm not mistaken, 65 meters. So that would be 765 meters, something like so. Would put us at the intersection of 0, which is what we saw already in the previous results. So this is another way. So align the location that you're measuring against with the ruler, and you should be all right. So I hope this was useful. I plan to make a lot of videos to explain some of the more intricate functions of our mod, and this will be coming up in a regular fashion. So thank you very much, and keep on gaming.